This video is going to cover the topic of Inequalities Stories. Be sure the date and topic are at the top of the page. The essential question for this video is how do we translate inequality stories and how do we interpret the solutions? And before we do anything else, we're going to write down some key phrases that will be important. And these phrases are going to be things that we'll see in stories, in context, that will be indicating that we're talking about inequality, one of our 4 types of inequalities. When we look at these words, know that this is by no means a complete list, but it should help as we're starting to familiarize ourselves with the types of context that we might see in our inequality stories. So now, keep these in mind, and we're going to look at a few stories and try to interpret them and interpret their solutions. Here's our first example. We have one story here about Olivia wanting to go bowling, and we know that the shoe rental is $3, and we know that she needs to spend $4 per hour to actually use the bowling lane. If she has $15, that's the maximum she can spend. She can spend no more than that, and our job will be to figure out how many hours she could potentially go bowling. And I'm thinking about how I can write this as an equation using H for hours. But actually, since I know she has a limit she can't go over, right? She can spend no more than this. It doesn't tell us that she has to spend it exactly. This will actually be an inequality. Now, the shoe rental is a finite amount, right? That is exact, that's definite, that's a constant. So we are going to start with $3 no matter what. And then, in addition, it's $4 for every hour, right? And that's what we're going to use with our variable h. So it's $4 for each of her hours. And it's an add-on, right? We're adding it to that. So I'm going to go ahead and use my addition symbol. The amount that she can spend is no more than $15. So it could be exactly $15, but it could also be less. So this is a less than or equal to inequality question. Take a moment, you can go ahead and solve this. I'm going to solve this as well. Now that we have it set up as an inequality, we can quickly figure out the value of h. So I see that h is less than or equal to 3, but the question is what that could mean, right? Well, she could bowl for exactly 3 hours, but she doesn't have to spend all her money. She could bowl for less than that. So we'll graph that. And by graphing our solution, we can see, of course, that Olivia can bowl for 3 hours or less with the amount of money that she has. In our second example, we're going to try to figure out how many hours it's going to take for it to be cold enough to snow. And we know that snow won't happen unless it is no more than 32 degrees outside, right? That is our maximum temperature. And if I'm telling you now that as I do this, that it's 41 degrees, and I'm assuming the temperature drops 1.5 degrees every hour, we can figure out how many hours it'll be until it is cold enough to snow. So in this case, we're starting with our 41 degrees, and then our temperature is going to be dropping at a rate of 1.5 degrees per hour. But it's dropping, so I'm going to go ahead and write that as a subtraction sign, right? It's going down. We're taking the temperature away. And we want the temperature on this side of our inequality to be lower than 32 degrees, right? But also, if it's exactly 32, that would work fine, right? No more than means it could be exactly 32. So again, we're going to go ahead and solve this. Take a moment to try it on your own and kind of compare as I go along. And as I'm doing this, notice that this was attached to the coefficient here, right? Minus 1.5 degrees per hour. So I'm continuing to keep that here, right? Keep that in mind. And as I'm finishing this, I have my h, and -9 divided by -1.5 is 6. And I'm going to notice that I divided by a negative. That means I'm going to flip my inequality. And what does this mean? Well, in 6 hours, it will be cold enough to snow, but also after 6 hours, it will still be cold enough to snow. So anytime after 6 will be cold enough. And again, I have this on my line plot, right, on my graph to show me that it could be exactly 6 hours or sometime after that, 7 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours, it will still be cold enough to snow. And here's one more for us to try together. In order for Senora Hall to do her trip that she does with Spanish students, she needs at least 20 students, right? More than that is fine, but she can't do it with less than or fewer than 20 students. When she first announced, 12 students signed up right away, and then we know that there's kind of a rate of about 2 students per month signing up. And we want to know when she'll have enough students, right? How many months it will be until she has enough students to go up there. So we're going to use M for months, and we know that we started with 12 students, right? And we know that there are 2 students a month who are joining, so we're going to add them on to that. We need this number to be maybe exactly 20, but it could be bigger than 20, right? If we have more than 20 students, then that would be enough for the trip as well. So we can go ahead and solve this as an inequality. And when I go through all of my steps here, right, I don't have to flip anything. These are all positive coefficients. I end up with m is greater than or equal to 4. And what that means is that at 4 months, or anytime after 4 months, Senora Hall will have the correct number of students. She'll have enough students that she can plan the trip. And of course, on my number line, I can see that that means that 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, anytime 4 or more, Ms. Hall will have the correct number of students. And I'll leave you here with one more question for you to solve on your own, right? And we're going to try to figure out, in this case, how many tickets the Selwood Band needs to sell to make at least $120. And as you answer, I want you to go ahead and write the inequality to start. Then I go ahead and solve it, and of course put your answer on the number line. And remember, the essential question of this video was how we can work to solve and interpret inequality story problems. So give your best try at this one here, and we'll make sure that we check over it in class. And as always, bring your notes and bring any questions you have to class as well.